Zsasz. I know that's the guy you've been waiting on all season pretty much. So give us your take on him, because I know I like the Victor Zsasz you see in, like, for example, the Arkham Asylum video game. You know, dude covered up all up in his little things, got his 2 knives,
and
his half
don't
naked.
Get me wrong. Any iteration of Victor Zsasz is gonna satisfy me sexually. So.
Okay.
With that said,
moving along.
I really enjoyed seeing Zsasz, my iteration of Zsasz in Gotham. However, I was also very upset with the iteration of Zsasz that we saw in Gotham.
So the two opposites.
Yeah, well, basically, here's the thing. Victor Zsasz was never, Victor Zsasz is my favorite Batman villain of all time. Victor Zsasz was never a hitman for the Mafia or the mob or anything. And this is something that Christopher Nolan's trilogy started, and apparently it carried on. So Victor Zsasz was never a hitman. He was always just a crazy serial killer, period. Dark Knight mentioned it, that he was the crazy guy that in the courtroom in the first Batman Begins. So I guess that trend has kind of carried on. However, with that in mind, I don't mind. I like Victor Zsasz. But my problem with Victor Zsasz is this whole episode, he didn't have one freaking knife. Not one freaking knife. No. The only knife I see is a box cutter that he uses to put a scar in his arm. Yo, I understand Victor Zsasz is known to use guns from time to time, but his trademark is knives, and I didn't see one freaking knife.
They just talked about it, though.
Yeah,
that's the sad thing is they just mentioned it.
Yeah, they're like, he has a knife to Barbara's throat.
That's like saying, I'm gonna be the Joker and not wear my purple suit. Bull.
Or not laugh.
Yeah, it's just... Or the Riddler without a question mark somewhere. It just doesn't work.
Which they've already done. No, that was something I was reading something today talking about, like they need to the show needs to decide if they want to be like mythos breaking, canon breaking, or if they want to like go along with it. So it's like if you want to make that choice that like Zsasz isn't going to have knives, they haven't like clearly decided if they're going to be like really in line with the comics or really not in line, because you know you're talking about like question marks and the Riddler and stuff like that, and you know we're seeing that they're going crazy with that stuff. So it's like, do they want to do their own thing with these characters, or are they staying in line with
Poison
the books?
Ivy had plants in her house.
Yeah.
Riddler had a question mark on his coffee cup.
Catwoman moves like
the Catwoman moves like a cat.
Where's Zsasz's stuff, though?
The hash marks, that's good enough for you, because it's not good enough for me.
Don't do that to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Because remember, I do Flash too.
I know.
You know how I love the Flash,
right there.
and I'm right there. But you gotta kind of put the nerdism to the side a little bit and kind of take the show for what it is after a while. But it's gonna hit you right here. If you have any more questions or anything, hashtag GothamAS. We are always watching, listening, but not stalking. We know the line. See you guys next week, and tune back in. TheStream.tv.
Bye.
Goodbye.